Hey there, and welcome to the We Can Be podcast, a podcast created for people like you. Those who dream big, but sometimes feel stuck, unsure, or just need a little push to keep going. I'm What Can Be Charles, and I'm on this journey to figuring out how to overcome obstacles, chasing goals, and learning how to become the best version of myself every single day. This isn't about perfection, it's about progress. Each week, we'll dive into real conversations about growth, discipline, mindset, and navigating life's challenges. I'll share some personal stories, lessons learned, and tips that help me and others take steps towards our dreams. Think of this as your weekly pep talk, your safe space to feel inspired, and your reminder that you're not alone. Because here's the thing. We all have the potential to become something greater. Sometimes we just need someone to believe in us along the way. So let's grow together and challenge ourselves and prove to ourselves that we can be whatever we set out to be. You ready? In this episode, we talk about something that might sound a little different, but it's so important on your journey to success. What we are going after, our goals. It's easy to get attached to outcomes, timelines, or even the approval of others. But here's the truth. Sometimes holding on too tightly can actually hold you back. Detachment doesn't mean giving up. It actually means accepting the reality of your situation and letting go of what you can't control. Again, it means accepting the reality of your situation and letting go of what you can't control and staying focused on what you can. If you've been feeling stuck, frustrated, or like you're putting in all the work but not seeing the results yet, this episode is for you. Let's talk about how letting go can actually help you grow. So, what is detachment? Clearly, detachment is the ability to let go of an outcome while still putting in the work. It's about being fully committed to the process, but not obsessed with how or when the results will show up. Let's take a moment and talk about process. When I think about process, I'm a big basketball junkie. And the Philadelphia 76ers have this saying called trust the process. When they were going through a rebuilding phase, they were tanking and they got a lot of great picks back to back to back. They got Ben Simmons, Markelle Fultz, and Joel Embiid, and that team was supposed to be a team that made it to the NBA Finals and even inevitably should have won a championship. The farthest they ended up going was the second round. But the whole process of tanking was that in the future they would be a better team. And it was true. They were a better team. They made it to the playoffs over and over again. They competed and got great results from putting their head down and just focusing on the process, focusing on grinding. And inevitably, it should lead to the goals that they wanted, which was being a successful franchise. They turned their whole franchise around. And when you detach, you're not giving up on your dreams. You're freeing yourself up from the mental weight of expectation. It's like planting a seed and watering it, but knowing you can't force it to grow overnight. Think about studying for a big test. You put in the work, you study hard, but on the day of the test, the only thing you can control is your effort. Detachment is trusting that your preparation will take you where you need to go without obsessing over every possible outcome. And why is detachment so important for our growth? When we get too attached to a specific outcome, we often feel anxious and frustrated when things don't go as planned, and we start doubting ourselves and overthinking, or even giving up too soon. But there are key benefits of detachment. First, it reduces stress. You stop worrying about things outside of your control and focus on the actions that matter. Two, it keeps you flexible. When you detach, you're open to new opportunities and unexpected paths to success. And three, protects your energy. Being detached protects your energy. You don't waste time worrying about what ifs. You stay focused on your journey and trust the process. Let's talk about Thomas Edison, the man who invented the light bulb. Edison famously failed over 1,000 times before he succeeded. Imagine if he had been attached to getting it right the first time. He wouldn't have made it and created the light bulb. He would have given up, but instead he detached from the failures and he accepted the process and focused on learning from every setback. His detachment is what allowed him to keep going and eventually succeed. If I have not failed, I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. That's the power of detachment. Staying committed to the goal, but letting go of the fear of failure. So I'm going to give you some practical steps how to cultivate detachment in your life. Number one, focus on what you can control. You can't control the results, but you can control your effort, mindset, and attitude. Focus on showing up and doing your best every single day. Just like in sports, just like in life, you can't control the outcomes, but you control yourself. Let me say that again. Just like in life, you can't control the outcomes, but you control yourself. And prepare and do everything in your control, in your efforts, in your mindset, in your attitude to get the best possible results. And just focus on doing your best every single day. Focus on what you control and let the other things be. Number two, detach from timelines. Success doesn't always come on your schedule. All right. I've never seen somebody always be successful on their timeline. Never have I seen. You see it all the time in sports, really. You see athletes say, this year we're going to win a championship. And that year they lose in the first round or they don't accomplish the goal. But be patient. Trust that the work you're putting in will pay off, even if it takes longer than usual. Hey, LeBron was putting in work for a long time before he won a chip. Same with Tom Brady. Same with Michael Jordan. Same with Messi. Messi didn't win the World Cup till he was like 40. But every day he practiced. Every day he did the things that he could control. Next thing that's going to help you cultivate detachment is reframe failure as growth. Every setback is teaching you something. Instead of seeing failure as the end, see it as feedback. What's this moment teaching you? John Maxwell said, our mindset on failure is wrong. We believe failure and success are two separate things when they're the same thing. That there's a thin line that separates them. Because if you have a growth mindset and look at your failures as a lesson to help you succeed, like a Thomas Edison, like a John Maxwell, like a LeBron James, like a Michael Jordan, like a Tom Brady, you can use every lesson, every failure as a lesson. And that's gonna help you succeed. I asked and talked to a lot of older people. And when you ask them what's the biggest lesson you've ever learned, it sometimes comes from failure and tragedy. And in that failure and tragedy, they really said if they never went through that, they would never have become the person that they are today. And it's the same for you. Your failures, your tragedies will one day be the story you share about the biggest lessons you've ever learned. And it will make you into one of the strongest, one of the most successful stories that you can share one day. So, again, reframe your failure as growth. Another point, another key that's going to help you cultivate detachment is letting go of other people's opinion. Sometimes we get too attached to seeking approval or validation. Remember, your journey is yours. Detach from what others think and focus on staying true to yourself. Hey, the way you win a championship, the way you deem success is yours. No one can tell you if you're successful except you. If you feel like a success right now with $10 in your pocket, you're considered successful then. If you feel successful with $1 million in your pocket, then you're successful then. You are deemed successful when you tell yourself and deem yourself successful. It's not what other people deem as successful, because everybody has their own perspective on success. So we got to let go of other people's opinion. All right. And the last one is practice gratitude and trust. When we trust that we're on the right path, even when things aren't perfect, it frees you to keep on going. Take time every day to focus on what's going right and be grateful for the progress you've made. This is how you get momentum. When you detach on what's going bad and you just practice gratitude and you trust in the process, that creates momentum for tomorrow, and you feel good about yourself, and it gives you the muscle to keep on going on when things get hard and when things get challenging. Think of a job interview. You can't control whether or not you get hired. All you can control is how you prepare and you show up. That's where the power lies. All right. Here's on overcoming the challenges that come with detachment. All right. First, a common challenge people have when detaching is the fear of failure. Right? Letting go of outcomes can feel scary, especially if you feel failure. But remember, failure isn't the opposite of success. It's part of the journey to it. All right? Another common challenge is impatience. Detachment requires patience. When results don't come immediately, remind yourself that every small effort is progress, even if you can't see it yet. And lastly, another challenge for detachment is self-doubt. Trust yourself. Trust your work. Trust in your process. Detachment doesn't mean you don't care. It means you believe in yourself enough to keep going without obsessing over when or how success will come. All right? It's not about being passive. It's about being free. Free to do the work without being held hostage by fear, stress, or impatience. Here's what I want you to take away today. Detachment is powerful. When you let go of what you can't control, you free yourself to focus on what truly matters, the actions that will get you to where you want to be. Trust the process. Let go of perfection, timelines, and expectations that weigh you down. Focus on showing up, doing the work, and growing every day. If you've been feeling stuck or overwhelmed, I challenge you to practice detachment this week. Take one step, trust yourself, and let the rest unfold. You'll be amazed on how much lighter and more focused you feel. If you found this episode helpful, share it with someone you know who needs a reminder to let go and keep growing. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode of the We Can Be podcast. We can be free, we can be focused, and we can be everything we dream of, one step at a time.